bienvenido, soy Gosha de Agencia Cósmica y es el tiempo, es el momento para el nuevo video. Continuaremos con el tema de Matrix 3D, pero hoy para este video he invitado una chica, otra TAYGETANA que se llama Aneeka, quien es más especializada en esta programación 3D. Hablaremos con ella y con Swaruu. Entonces, tener esto en cuenta. Estoy muy agradecida a Aneeka para poder venir y hablar conmigo sobre este tema que me interesa mucho y espero que a vosotros también. Y agradecida a Swaruu, por supuesto, como siempre, para toda su paciencia y su sabiduría y su profundidad y también su normalidad conmigo. Es de verdad, la considero como mi amiga. En este video se mencionará varios conceptos que tal vez pueden sonar un poco desde ciencia ficción. Si hasta ahora no pensáis que esto es ciencia ficción, pues también puede ser que sí, pero creo que aquí en este video mencionaremos algunos puntos de las inserciones de los objetos y los eventos dentro de nuestra realidad. Hablaremos de objetos que no son reales. Entonces, para que tengáis, por favor, mente abierta. Y recordar, es que toda la realidad es ya mágica. Es que, ¿por qué no? ¿Por qué no abrirse a esta posibilidad más de lo que están hablando ahora mismo? Yo, por ejemplo, a veces cuando la gente así muy materialística me dice que no, eso no puede ser, eso no es real, esto es imaginación, ciencia ficción. Pero espera, persona, ¿te has fijado en lo mágico y increíble que, por ejemplo, eres tú mismo, tu cuerpo? ¿Cómo funciona? ¿Cómo funciona tu organismo? ¿Cómo funciona tu conciencia? ¿Cómo que eres consciente de tú mismo? ¿Cómo puede ser que todo esto tiene algún tipo de mecánica? ¿Ya esto mismo no te parece increíble y mágico y de ciencia ficción? Es que de muchas cosas ya estamos aceptando como realidad, como obvio, porque nos nacimos aquí y lo percibimos como normal. Pero si de verdad te piensas, te paras y te pausas por un momento y te das cuenta lo increíble y lo ciencia ficción de verdad que somos, entonces, ¿por qué entonces no abrirse a otra posibilidad más? ¿Por qué entonces esta otra realidad que voy a presentar en este video no podría ser también real? Para mí ya no hay sorpresas, no hay nada que es imposible. Todo es posible. Si yo existo, si mi conciencia existe, si yo estoy consciente de mí misma, que para mí es algo súper mágico, entonces todo lo que se dice en este video hoy también es posible. Por ejemplo, mi novio a veces, que no cree mucho en estas cosas, por ejemplo, mira a mis dos perros y está como fascinado con sus patas, con la construcción de su ser, de todo su cuerpo. ¿Cómo que se ha creado este ser? Y voy ahora a presentaros. Esto es mi perrito que se llama Croquet. ¿Cómo puede ser que esto existe? Y esto ya dice mi novio. ¿Cómo puede ser que se ha creado de esta nariz y después estas orejas y estas patas? Y mira, y estas uñas aquí, duras aquí. ¿Cómo es que eso se ha creado todo solo? Con algún diseño, algún propósito y alguna mecánica y construcción e inteligencia. Todo esto es que no os parece ya esto ciencia ficción. Si por ejemplo existimos en un mundo donde no hay animales y no hay perros y vivimos solos y después viene alguien de otro planeta y dice, mira, tenemos animales, tenemos criaturas que son todo de pelo y tienen 4 patas y caminan en 4 patas y tienen nariz así y tienen tienen pelo por todos lados. Entonces también vamos a pensar, pero eso no puede ser. Esto es totalmente ciencia ficción. Esto es lo que os quiero decir, que simplemente que algo nos parece ciencia ficción no significa que no sea real. Simplemente es algo que no hemos visto en nuestra realidad hasta ahora. Algo que no hemos percibido, algo a que no hemos sido los testigos ahora mismo, hasta ahora, pero todo en el universo es posible. Hay el potencial de todo. Hay seres que son felinos, hay seres que son caninos, hay de todo. Entonces, con esta filosofía de esta mente abierta, quiero abrir este video de hoy. Muchas gracias a todos y a empezar el nuevo video. A disfrutar. Hasta luego. Hello, Swaruu. Hello, Aneeka. What a pleasure to be talking to you both today.
Hello, Gosia. Nice to be here with you again.
How are you doing, Gosia? Thank you for inviting me. Of course, I have heard you were an expert of the 3D matrix programming. We would like to learn more about it. Please, in your words, how does it work exactly? You can be as specific as you want.
Okay. From here, we see a map of frequencies. Those the computer will translate into visible objects, like a landscape, a tree, or a building. Those frequencies are also events, not only hard objects. The computer will place it in front of you, in front of me in this case, as a hologram that is interactive. I can move objects around with my hands, or I can also use thought. I imagine a building and the computer will make it come up in the hologram, later manipulate it. This is the physical part. The next step is to see the events as frequencies as well. And this is where it becomes invasive in the opinion of many.
You said, from here we see a map of frequencies. I didn't understand that, I'm sorry. Where is that map of frequencies? On your computer?
It's in my computer. It will be on a screen, or it will be projected onto me, in front of me, as an interactive hologram, here on this ship.
Okay, let's pause for a second. I have some doubts, please. Are you trying to say that there are no objects on Earth? No trees, no mountains, nothing? Because from what I understood, the Earth is already here, in its 5D state. It's just our perception of it that is locked into 3D. So we see those trees and mountains in a more limited way, no?
Yes, but there are what you would call real objects in 5D and superimposed unreal objects in 3D. Those are the ones we can alter. We can alter the 5D ones as well, but not with this technology that for our standards it's quite outdated and old.
Okay, great. Relief. Can you specify which objects are real objects in 5D too, and which ones are superimposed? I mean, is nature real? Mountains, rivers, etc.? Because I feel it is.
Yes, nature is mostly real. The artificial cities are not, or mostly not. But it's different for each area.
Artificial cities? Do you mean that some cities are all superimposed?
All of them are artificial 3D, but some have older elements. Those places are more 4D. I refer to places like castles and old houses, places with ghosts and anomalous things. It depends on each city. Some more than others, but all of them, I would say, are in the excess of 50% matrix 3D.
And if we go to 5D, they will disappear?
Mostly yes.
So if they do, what will there be left on Earth? No buildings, cities, just nature suddenly?
In some cases, yes, just nature. In others, a partial city. Only some elements will remain. This is also seen as living in another parallel reality or timeline. So all of us waking up in 5D, where we will live? All of our homes will disappear? We will just wake up one day in a forest? And then what? Your homes, as well as whatever other places you need, will remain by the simple fact that it's the people themselves that are manifesting them. So their houses will not go away. Only those horrible government buildings and banks, for example. Those things no one wants and are there as a matrix imposition outside the real needs and wants of the population of real people. Oh yes? So there will be empty places there in the middle of the city? Will that happen gradually or suddenly, the shift to 5D? I mean, we will just wake up one day and all government buildings will be gone? Will it not be too strange? In some cases, yes, will bluntly disappear, remaining as a Mandela effect, to remember there was something there. In other cases, more like the buildings will be given another purpose, or demolished for the space to be used for something else. And pyramids are 3D too? I don't think so, right? This was earlier. Everything has something of 3D, but let's say that, as you will imagine, they are of the structures with less 3D that there are. What is real? It's all in your mind anyway. All this technology does is promote you to see something with your limited 5 senses there. Your experience is real, nothing else is. Even the 5D objects are not real, they are also matrix, a higher matrix, but matrix it is. But 3D inserted objects are less real than 5D objects, no? For your experience, they are not less real, only from our point of view here, from 5D. Okay, so what other objects do you insert normally? And also, do you insert events? Because this ties with what I was reading about so-called holographic inserts done by Zeta Reticuli and so-called perceptual interferences they do. It is very similar to this, I think. That's right. We insert objects and events. You, from there, as Swaruu said, experience them all as reality. We, from here, as we are in another density, we can see and distinguish 3D objects from 5D objects and even manipulate the 3D objects. Okay, can you be more specific, Aneeka, please? What objects and events are inserted? For example, we can see an important person, and by important, we don't mean a famous one or anyone as seen important there. We mean someone that is playing a key role there, even if he or she is a librarian. Imagine that person having a bad day. They go into a negative spiral that will eventually lead to that person being mugged and killed. We will insert something simple into the matrix. That person may be going down an elevator on her way out at the end of her day and only minutes from being mugged, killed. So once in the elevator, we can cause an electrical problem where she will be delayed only 1 minute, so she will no longer be a match to being mugged. Amazing, and we here think it's some cosmic destiny. We can insert objects too, like a nail in a tire of a car, causing it to stop because of a flat, or even a tree or a building somewhere where it was not. Remember the Mandela effect? It's not timelines, the ones that are changing, it's things, physical objects that move around, causing a change in the people's perception. but they do remember sometimes that things were different. Cool! Can you insert a ticket around the world? Just joking. The ticket is not enough. You must also insert the cause and effect of that, where that ticket came from, or else they wouldn't work, as you have no use for a ticket if it's not registered in the airline's database for a seat. Okay, that was only a joke. So, sometimes you insert the details of events, like for example a flat tire or something, so that some event will not happen. We here sometimes have series of events like that seem coincidental. When do we know if it is an insertion in the 3D matrix or when it is yourself, the higher self, altering the reality, manifesting? The two things, Gosha, or just you. It depends on each particular event. You are much more powerful than you imagine. It is only the matrix programming that makes you think you are not, or that you are victims. You do not even need lunar machines to alter a site. With your intention is enough, and I mean it very seriously. That idea that you are helpless is what maintains the 3D matrix and reptiles. Excellent, I understand. So, to summarize this part, the matrix is perceptual, locking people's awareness of things, and insertions. Correct. It's all perception. There is nothing there. Only the stimuli of a thing onto your senses. Well, the nature is here, right? As we confirmed above. It exists in 5D. Yes, but they are both only perception. One natural, and the other artificial. Here you can see more colors, you can hear other sounds making music a lot richer. Objects in nature are more vivid and complete. You can feel energy, feel the people around you, feel the trees, the animals. That's also why there is telepathy. In 3D you are limited. It's like having a part of the program, not the full program. Like a test run. But as people see that 3D is all they know, they cannot conceive otherwise. But there is more, and it is physicality as well, but fully loaded, not with limited features, so to speak. Excellent. I understand then how the implementation of Matrix 3D works with perceptual interferences and insertions of graphics and events. But now, the limitations such as not remembering who we are, not remembering other lifetimes, this is programmed by 3D Matrix too? Or was this part of reptilian manipulation afterwards? Or maybe it's part of the original Matrix? It's all of the above. It's not the same, and it's not the same for everyone. Most go in with a memory loss, others not so much. This is due mainly to the energy level or consciousness level of each individual as they go in. The higher and more evolved an individual, the more it can override the matrix destructive frequency interference, although it is not always like this. The matrix destructive interference restricts which frequencies can be accessed by a consciousness. And there is also a factor of mind control working to set people in a state that promotes forgetting. Also, the part of not remembering is part of the original matrix from the beginning. The reason you forget is because if you remember, it would not be the same. Incarnating there on Earth is like the most advanced level of a video game. Nightmare level, as they say. It is assumed that if you forget who you are, it will be more dramatic. You will take things much more seriously than if you know that at the end of the day, you will simply get out of the cinema because everything was a simulation. Although, as I said, everything is a simulation. what you experience there is not. So from the point of view of inside 3D, it is reality and experience that matter. From your point of view, everything is real. It is very much ingrained in the psyche of humanity to think that only one thing is true and not several, especially if they are contrary. More than one thing, although contradictory, may be true. So, reality is a simulation and everything is a false hologram. And it is also reality and must be taken as such, because experience is the real thing, and as everything is experience, everything is real for you. It would not be so real if you remembered at all times that you are in a simulation. As with many things, it is a complicated subject and with no easy answer, as it's caused by a number of factors, all interacting at different levels depending on the individual. It's for the same reason that we don't remember where we came from. I'm talking about star seeds, because maybe it would help a lot to remember this part, recover our identity. I speak of those who feel they are not from here, but I understand that 3D, this is about the game. It's what the game is about, yes. But I must also say that the level of amnesia depends on the decision of each person, because there are many people who have entered with full and total memory of who they are, and other people with half memories and all variants in between. Is this an earlier agreement with themselves? Yes, either from the etheric level directly or from some immersion chamber in a ship or installation in another part of the world. Okay, thank you, Swaruu. And related to this, other things like aging, linear time and more, this is not a part of 3D, right? That was the reptile manipulation, yes? I'm trying to understand very well what belongs to the 3D simulation and what is the manipulation of the reptilian matrix later on. Aging is part of the matrix from the beginning. But more than anything, aging so fast, I mean, you live there about 10% of what we do here at the most. That is the consequence of mental control, of reptilian hacking, yes. But unlike what many say, based on the Sumerian tablets, the hack comes in a mental way, as a mental control, and not biogenetically. Yes, there is genetic alteration, but that occurs everywhere anyway, and the same consciousness of people also rewrites their own genetics. Then everything in the universe ages, only not as quickly as we perceive it from here, yes? Yes, but here, in addition to aging 10 times slower, with a life expectancy of 950 years, as time is flexible, you literally do not die of old age here. In theory, you can continue always. How did the reptilians hack the matrix on the moon if they were also stuck here on 3D Earth? Did they have help from their reptilian families outside? Gosia, because, as I just said above, the way in which the matrix can be controlled is from below also, as you do. This is how the reptiles controlled it, simply because they knew how it works. This is what I want to give back to the people of Earth, although I know that much of this is already in use with the law of attraction, which is largely correct, but there are missing key pieces that only we have. That is the timelines and their manipulation. And we can talk about this at a later time if you wish. And then, yes, the foreign negative reptiles help them. the same way we see an object in frequencies, we see events. So if the frequency is low or as a match to a negative event, we will artificially alter that area's frequency to make it no longer a match with the negative event in question. And we can alter that frequency because we have access and an interface to the matrix control system that is on the moon. The matrix is not even projection. It can be individually modified and or focused to where you want. It's all done transmitting electromagnetic waves of the exact wavelength, frequency, necessary to alter the area, situation, or target. Incredible, Aneeka. You said something that was super new and interesting to me. I repeat. So if the frequency is low or as a match to a negative event, we will artificially alter that area's frequency to make it no longer a match with the negative event in question. So you mean that if in some region there is a low frequency, I imagine it refers to the collective, and it fits with a negative event that could manifest there, you alter the frequency so that it doesn't manifest. Did I understand correctly? Could you say more about this, Aneeka, please? Yes. Not only things or objects are frequencies, which is the oscillation of their atoms or their molecules, and it is related to the Schumann frequency of the Earth, which is the average of all the frequencies inside it. But also events are frequencies. These frequencies are not uniform on Earth, let's say on the surface of the Earth where you are. For very varied reasons, the areas of the surface change in frequency, as are the events that occur in an area or intentional manipulation of an area using either HAARP or GWEN technologies. Let's just talk about what happens naturally for now. If people have generated a very negative environment in an area, let's say in the plaza of a city, then this area becomes congruent in frequency for an even greater negative event. Imagine seeing the entire surface of the planet represented in front of you with a large hologram. That hologram, I have it here, and I can walk around it or enter it at will. It's right behind me, but it's off now. In colors, I can see how the frequencies of what is transmitted as 3D are distributed, superimposed on the surface of the Earth, like a layer on top or a filter. When I see that a place is going down a lot, it starts to turn yellow and then red as a color code. Let's say that New York is turning red. Then either manually manipulating the hologram or using that thought interface, which is what I use the most, I put my attention on New York. The hologram makes the city bigger now. I see Manhattan, and then I see the Matrix 3D frequency map over Manhattan, nothing more. And I see that Times Square is very low, for example. This means that it has a frequency that is consistent with the frequency of major accident, attack, armed assault, serious false flag, etc. This is filtered by the computer and it interprets the data. With this now, I can fix my attention or point to that particular area of Manhattan with my instruments, and then artificially raise the frequency of that site, nothing more, which will make it incompatible with the negative events that I listed above. But I do not have unlimited energy because the matrix is weak and it only works with 4 of the initial 12 reactors it was designed with. So giving it energy or raising the frequency to one area would bring a general decrease or of another location. So it's quite a job to manage resources. And are you doing this often? All the time, 24/7 as they say. At this moment, it is Lilaila who is assisting with that. It is usually my job. This technology is not perfect and it is very old, although I know that for you it may seem very advanced. For us it is old and difficult to manage. Besides, it is failing a lot already. Wow, super amazing all this. Thank you very much then for all you do. Not at all, and there is no need to thank us. It is the least we can do. Now, the question that many people will ask, what happened to the world wars, for example? You were not here yet, right? This alteration of frequency in the raises you started doing relatively recently. On the other hand, I understand that not everything can be altered this way. We arrived in 1952. Since then, the Third World War has been stopped more times than I can remember, because they insist on realizing it. Yes, Swaruu told me about it. Thank you very much. Do you think we can learn how to alter frequencies? If we can learn to change the frequencies of places from here with our consciousness or some practices maybe? Yes, because you do not need a machine like this one to do that. With the perceptions and the personal consciousness you have enough. The matrix is designed to read the intentions of those of you down there and manifest it. Therefore, altering the matrix, you do it all the time. Well, with that positive note, we can finish then, since it is time. Thanks to Swaruu very much, and thank you, Aneeka. Thank you, Gosia. Until tomorrow. Thank you for inviting me, and until next time.